Um, my name's Anna Stern. I am 27 years old. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a high school history teacher at the University School of Nashville, but before that I was at Wayland Academy in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. And before that I was a college student at Washington University in St. Louis. And then when I was a senior in high school, I had the opportunity to do what we called SILC, Senior Instructional Leadership Corps, where you were like a TA. And most people, again, was like, the easy class, like you sat in the back and you did your own homework. But I was sitting in the back like grading, and I loved it. And that was when it became really clear, like I think I should be working with high schoolers. And I think what clicked for me was I like talking to people who are basically adults. And I think as someone who's only barely an adult in my own way, like I think we get along really well. I think that younger teachers have the ability to connect with their kids on a level and provide like a comfort level that, if done right, can be really, really important and transformational for kids. So I think for a few of my kids, I play the role of like the older sibling that either they had and went off to college or they've never had. And that's been really good. It also means that I have to go get more like counselor training, which I'm getting this summer because I've turned into like the 10th grade therapist. I will say, like, there is definitely a line though that is really, really important not to cross. So like for my kids, I do not let them call me by my first name. And what they will, like, they think it's funny to come in the room and be like, Anna, and I'm like, no. Like, I am Miss Stern to you. And I think they're saying that not because they're trying to be like gross or cross a boundary. It's like that's how they understand the world. Like, they're friends, and then there are like parents and grown-ups, and then there are like other authority figures. And so it's a compliment that they're calling me their friend. But for me, it's important that they know, like, technically I have a professional obligation first, and I'm going to honor that first. Why I've stayed is probably a more interesting question, because, like, I work at a great school, and I've always worked at great schools, and I've always had a lot of support and resources, but I'm still paid less than most of my friends who went to similar colleges and have very similar backgrounds, and it's not like cute what I do either. Like, I don't play with stuffed animals all day, so that it is infuriating to me when people say things like that. And it's always like when someone says that, it's like, if I was a doctor, they wouldn't tell me that it was cute, or if I was a lawyer, they wouldn't, and I could be those things. But I've stayed because I think it's so important that our kids at private schools or public schools, it doesn't matter, have adults in their lives who care, and who want them to be everything that they can be, to reach their fullest potential. And I know I'm somebody who's like that. And I also think it's very interesting about teachers is that, like, often teachers are expected to downplay. They're expected to downplay their intelligence. They're expected to downplay how much effort they put in. They're expected to downplay everything in the name of, like, their kids. Like, you're supposed to sacrifice so that your kids, like, I don't know if that's the best thing for, like, I want my kids to know that I picked this career because I care about them, and I care about my job, and then I'm good at my job. And it's good for them to go find a job that they're good at and go find a career that makes them happy, but also makes them feel really proud and successful and fulfilled. And as a social studies teacher, I am constantly finding that there are days when that relationship building and making class fun and recognizing that, like, the kids come first and their emotional well-being, and then content comes second. So I've learned how to be a better person and how to be more compassionate. In that sense, I've become much more open-minded and compassionate, and I've heard a lot more and learned a lot more about the human experience, which I think is amazing and crazy, and it also helps kind of put you in your place. I know teaching is, like, people think it's lame, and people think that teaching is for girls, which it's not, and that teaching is like someone's secondary career or like the secondary income or plan B, and that is the worst thinking you can possibly do for all sorts of reasons. But I don't know, if nothing else, I hope people who watch me talk about my job see that there is a whole lot of fulfillment that comes from working with students and teaching and being involved in that sort of like adolescent development. But it's given me purpose and given me something to keep striving for, and it's given me stuff to be angry about, but also to be really joyful about, and it's helped me process the world around me in the same way that I know I'm helping my kids. Now it's like that stage where it's like 10 years, I don't know what I'm like, just gonna be teaching for 10 years, like, okay, and that's weirdly comforting and also a little weird to like not have a thing.